Welcome, parents. In this video, how to parent kids to have your grit, I'm going to discuss the different strategies and tips on how accomplished and successful parents can raise their kids to have their grit, their drive to succeed. According to an ancient Chinese proverb, wealth does not pass 3 generations. Why? The first generation builds the wealth. The second generation, witnessing the hard work of the first generation, tries to preserve the wealth. The third generation, however, who's never known about the hard work that went into the creation of that wealth, then just squanders it. When I read this Chinese proverb, I thought, exactly. When you are an accomplished or successful parent, and a lot of you are because you're now watching this video, and you can now provide so much more for your children than you had, than your parents could for you. As a refugee and an immigrant from Vietnam, I believe that I'm living the American dream. Going to college, becoming a lawyer, getting to do the work that I love, and being able to provide for my family. If you're similar to me, you want that next generation to be better than the last. And how do we do that? We do that by making sure that that third generation doesn't squander things because they've never experienced any hardships or struggles, that they don't have the drive or the grit to succeed. How do we instill, how do we develop, how do we raise our kids to have our grit? I'm going to share with you 4 strategies today. Number 1, tell your story. Just take a moment and think about your own journey. How did you get here today? How did you become successful or accomplished? What did you do in order to have the means right now to be able to provide for your family? I bet your story is pretty fascinating. Whether you had to read the subtitles on the TV to learn English, or you just had $5 in your pocket, or you worked 7 days a week, or just ate ramen to save money. Uh, Whatever it is, whatever your hardship story is, I bet it's fascinating to you and to your kids. I had a chance to do just that a few years back when I got to take my kids to New Orleans. My parents, as immigrants, we opened up a small restaurant, and I can only describe our living space as the shack in the back of the restaurant. um, I got a chance to show my kids, and they saw that the restaurant was attached to 2 other businesses. There were neighbors around, and they saw how small it was, and the kind of neighborhood that it was in. And it really opened their eyes, right? Because now they can picture their mom being a high schooler, going to school, and then having to come back and then working. They now know how hard I had to work, how hard their grandparents had to work in order to be able to be here today, to have the means to provide, to be able to send their kids to college. And I think that was really important for them to really hear and to learn about my story. Tell them your story. The fault is on us as parents if we don't tell our kids our story, and yet we expect them to understand our struggles, our hardships, and the grit and determination that we needed, that we had to have in order to be successful. So tell them your story. Number 2, make sure your kids know how to work hard. You begin by giving them some chores, making sure that they have specific duties and that they know that they belong to a greater family, that each part of the family has to contribute to the greater good. Once your kids are a little bit grown up, then I would suggest that you follow Angela Duckworth's strategy, the hard thing rule. Angela Duckworth is a clinical psychologist and she studies about grit. And she shared that within her own family, she follows this hard thing rule. Um, she and her husband and two daughters would, number one, choose something really hard to do. When they say hard, it is something that requires feedback and that requires lots of practice, and that they would have to do it again and again to get better. And number two is that doing this hard thing, they can't quit until it's a natural quit. That means that they have to finish the certain amount of lessons or finish a season. Number three is that the hard thing is something that is chosen by each person. So the child gets to choose what's hard. I thought that that's such a wonderful idea. So I remember that my daughter, a volleyball player, in her second or third year of playing volleyball in high school in a private club, she came across a coach that was really tough, that she did not get along. And I think within the first few weeks of the season, she said, "Mom, I hate it. I hate it. I want to quit." And I told her, "You can't quit. You're not going to quit because in life you're going to come across people that you don't get along with. There's going to be tough situations where it's just you're going to have to work with very difficult people. And, the option is just not to quit." And so she stuck it through the season and she ended up um, playing, volleyball throughout high school and actually brought that passion with her all through her 4 years of college and playing in college. So, how do you do it in a way where you're allowing your kids the opportunity or creating that opportunity or encouraging that opportunity for them to try something hard, to do something hard so that they can continuously build up that grit, so that they can know that it takes practice, it takes time, it takes hard work, step of the way in order for them to get to where they want to be. So um, teach your kids to know how to work hard. That's number two. Number three is to teach your kids gratefulness or gratitude. Beyond them just being grateful to you, have them interact with others, especially those who are less fortunate than them. One of the concerns is that we as parents, we want to keep our kids safe and protected. And sometimes I am questioning myself whether I am, ha- you know, having my kids live in a little bubble, where they don't know the realities of the world. I think it's important that they do because when they go out into the real world, they are going to have to deal with real issues. We have to be brave when age appropriate to talk about the hard stuff, um, divorces, addiction, suicide, mental health, war, um, homelessness. There are just so many issues in the world today. And these are the issues that we need to talk about with our kids so that as they look at these issues, they become more grateful with what they have. One of my favorite example is a person I so admire is a heart surgeon, a renowned heart surgeon, and he would every Thanksgiving take his kids to the soup kitchen to serve food to the homeless and to the needy before he would have his own Thanksgiving dinner. He wanted to show his kids and to remind his kids um, to be thankful for what they have, because there are many people who don't have the same thing. And he takes his kids also on medical mission trips to help him provide medical care to the needy, especially in foreign countries that do not have the access that we have here in the United States. I encourage you, parents, to walk the walk, be the role model to your kids. Show your kids you are also grateful for the opportunities that you have had, and that you are also giving back in your way because you are grateful. Whether you're donating to charities or you're volunteering at your favorite causes, take your kids with you. Show them what gratitude is about. And last, final point, number 4, is help them find a purpose. A purpose is a meaning that is beyond themselves. It's not about just making them be successful and they're great and it's about me, 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 me. A purpose is about the wider world. When I think about these celebrities and I think about all these stars and titans in industries, and yet when I read stories about how many of their kids are addicted or, get in legal trouble or end up in, poor marriages or, even the very worst, committing suicide. I think when you have all that wealth, what is it that they're missing? And I bet one of the things that they're missing in their life is that purpose. What is my purpose? What is the greater meaning in life where I have it all, where I have all the means and all the wealth and I don't have to worry about it. But what they're missing is possibly that purpose to wake up every morning and what can I do to contribute to the world? So I think when you have that purpose, there is a drive in you that's instilled in you because you wake up every day, you're passionate, and you want to make a difference. So I ask you, ask your kids those questions. What do you care about? What causes make a difference to you? Encourage your kids to make an impact on the world. Give your kids something to work towards, a cause, a purpose to work towards beyond just himself or herself. And I think when your kids have that, then it's going to be less likely that they'll end up being lazy or spoiled or entitled because they have a purpose to make a difference in the world. So those are my 2 cents. You know, uh, I'm really very, very happy that you're here. You are, if you're watching this video, you are a concerned parent. You want to make sure that the next generation is better than your generation, that the next generation is better than the next. And to ensure that, you want to make sure that what you leave behind to your kids is not what money can buy. I think it's more than that. You want to instill that work ethic, that grit, that resilience, that thing that is going to take them through the difficult times and have them practice and work hard towards their dream. I'm Sandra Vu. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm an imperfect Asian mom. I'm still learning, I'm still growing. And I hope that you enjoyed the tips today, that it gave you something to think about. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. I'm doing this YouTube. It's for me, my hard thing. It takes practice, it takes guts, it takes courage to put yourself out there. But I am not going to quit because I really, truly believe that this is my calling. I really want to help and contribute. I feel like this is my purpose. So please, I would love to hear from you. Love your comments, love your suggestions, and just your support. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Sandra Vu. I'm an imperfect Asian mom. I hope you will continue to join me in the parenting journey. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.